Hey y'all, Jamie from Country Diggers here. Today I thought we'd do a fun little video called Cats Gone Bad. Bad Kitty. Okay, this is a book my mom got me, and I'm going to read some out of it. And if you're wondering about my bad kitty, he's in jail right now. I'll show him to you. He's right here in jail. Y'all know why? Because he likes to get up here on my stuff and run. He gets up right here and then jumps to here and then runs all the way over here. And then when I get up to get him, he runs down the hall and hides behind the dryer, clothes dryer. So that is why he's in jail right now. So the little monster, he's in jail. But hope y'all enjoy this video. It's gonna be fun. He's in timeout and he'll get out in 10 minutes. All right. Cool for cats. It's hot. Yes, it's hot dogs for cool cats. I've climbed inside the fridge. And if you think that's unhygienic, you're right. I was appalled at what I found. But I'm definitely cleaning up here. What's the worst that could happen? Fridge benefits. Photographs of cats snuggled inside refrigerators might look staged, but videos online show cats really opening fridge doors without any assistance. In the Czech Republic in 2012, a cat was filmed climbing up the handles of the fridge doors. It hung from the freezer door and propelled itself backwards with enough force to swing the door open. Feline cleaning. I like to vacuum all over the house. On the Persian and the Oriental. I use it on the carpets and rugs too. Shaken and furred. What does your cat get up to when it's home alone? In August 2010, in Germany, neighbors called emergency services after hearing a cat screeching and a vacuum cleaner running for hours on end. When the firefighters broke into the apartment, they found the frightened cat quite safe. Guess that it had accidentally turned on the vacuum cleaner. Cat got your tongue? Who are you calling a hoodlum? Under house arrest. A ginger cat in Rothingham, South Yorkshire, UK, was given an animal antisocial behavior order, ASBO, in 2014 after residents had complained that he was biting people, fighting with other cats, and refusing to leave people's homes. The court warned the owner that she would be charged with a crime if the cat went on to damage any property, and asked her to keep him within the confines of her yard. Bad cat. I taught putty tat. They say that curiosity killed the cat. But that bird was as curious to fly outside the cage as I was to see what would happen if it did. That's all I'll say. Watch the birdie. Cats may show patience, great patience in stalking birds, but how often do they catch them? Quite often, it seems. Cats, both domestic and feral, kill between 1.4 billion and 3.7 billion birds a year in the U.S., according to figures from the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute in Washington, D.C. in 2013. Peeping Tom. What am I going to see? The birds, of course. Catnip popcorn. You buy your popcorn Find your seat. The lights go down. The movie begins. Well, not for all film felines. YouTube clips show cats who'll never know if the movie is the cat's pajamas because they're too busy sniffing, playing with, and generally warming their faces on their bowls of popcorn. Some say that these days the movies are all about selling popcorn. Perhaps they're right. Genie Regret Chin. Okay. Look at him with his silly scarf and name tag. Well, I can outstare him any day, says the cat to the dog. Cat walks dog. Dogs chase cats, right? But in some cases of 2013 YouTube sensation, Cat taking the dog home, it's clearly the cat who's the boss. The cat, far smaller than the Jack Russell Terrier, pulls the dog's leash and meows to keep the dog in check. That way the cat leads the downtrodden dog, gives the leash a tug when the dog dawdles, and takes the dog up the stairs and home. Who's gonna blink first? What's up? You've never seen a cat with a mustache before? Little Hitler, the furry Fuhrer, with a black toothbrush mustache, a severe side part. He is a cat that you might think one could only name Adolf or Hitler. But the owner, who lives in Moscow, calls her hairless Donsky Portos. Portos. Not that he can't be a little dictatorial. He'll only eat out of her hand or off a plate, turning his nose up at a cat bowl. When his behavior is bad, I always say it's just the Hitler in him, explains the owner. Cat burglar. If my owners had a TV, I wouldn't have to resort to this and look elsewhere. But how else am I going to watch Dog Whisperer? playing cat chup. For 2 days in 2014, a cat terrorized a couple in their home in Kent, UK. Having climbed into the house through an open window, the cat hid under a bed and sank its teeth and claws into the person's arm when he tried to coax it out. The cat then caused havoc, breaking furniture but not leaving the property. Rescue came from a neighbor who donned his leather motorcycle outfit and a helmet before managing to wrap a blanket around the cat and release it outside the house. Wow. Cat that got the cream. Happiness is 3 things: a full belly, a warm carpet, and knowing that tomorrow will be more of the same. Something fishy at the airport. A cat found its way into a Russian airport in December of 2014 and proceeded directly to cat heaven. The fresh fish counter in the airport supermarket there it climbed into the display case and gorged itself on seafood, ruining $1,000 worth of merchandise before a customer spotted it. Rather than being punished, the cat was adopted by the Russian hockey team. Okay. Oh, man. Fat cats. You said you'll never in your lifetime see a cat on a banknote. Well, weren't you wrong? Fur richer, fur purr. Cats love to roll in it. Cash, that is. Website cashcats.biz invited owners to submit photos of their cats surrounded by trappings of their wealth. The response was immense, with photos of cats surrounded by cash and champagne flooding in. But not all cats were keeping their paws clean. Some photos showed illegal drugs. A website owner admitted, I definitely get a lot of submissions from people who work in cash only industries, if you will. Poor kitties. Cat in the cockpit. Whenever I have the chance to take a vacation, I pounce. Domesticated departures. When this owner was loading the baggage at Port Columbus Airport in Ohio in 2012, he thought he saw one of the suitcases move, but dismissed the notion. Little did he know that a cat had in fact stowed away in the bag. Oh, me. The owner knew. Okay. The owner knew of it was when she opened her bags more than 900 miles later in Orlando and found her beloved Bob had joined her on a week-long trip to Disney World. Feline southpaw. And you thought only dogs could be boxers. I talk cat, or do I? In 2015, a woman from Nashville, Tennessee bought an app to talk with her cat. Her high hopes were dashed, though, when one of the supposedly friendly sounds the app produced provoked the cat to scratch and snarl at her. It appears that the app does speak cat. We're just not sure what it's saying. Hissing fit. They found my paw prints all over the crime scene. When the cat's away. A missing cat is usually missed, but not Oscar. A Turkish van living in Wingrave, Buckinghamshire, UK. His bites were so severe that one Wingrave resident had to spend 6 days in the hospital. Ironically, though, it was Oscar's bad behavior that brought him home again. He proved too difficult for his adoptive keepers to look after. So a vet found his microchip and traced Oscar's original owner. Although she was delighted to have him home, her neighbors armed themselves with water pistols. Okay. Puss in Boots. What did you expect? Kitten heels? But boots in puss? In Brighton, UK in 2015, a cat named Gary was taken to the vet for a routine vaccination. The vet, however, discovered a mass in his stomach. The vet suspected that it was a tumor and told his owner to prepare for the worst. Further investigation, however, revealed that Gary had eaten numerous shoelaces and hair bands. After surgery to remove these, he made a full recovery, while his owner kept any loose shoelaces out of reach. Champion dribbler. Excuse me. It wasn't until I saw Luis Suarez play soccer that I realized how good I'd be at it. I can bite better than he can. Turfed out. What can upstage 22 top soccer players during a match? Yes, a black cat, choosing to pad out on the field. This happened in August 2014 in a Spanish league match between Barcelona and Elche, ELCHE, at Barcelona's Camp Nou Stadium. Moving like a true cat Allen, the cat dodged a few players before being chased off the field by an official. Barcelona won 3-0. Excuse me. Strong arm of the paw. I wasn't fouling. I was just marking territory. I've been collared. Guards at a prison in Moldova in 2013 were used to seeing a gray and white cat walk in and out of the prison grounds. But one day something caught their eye. The cat was wearing a particular collar. Stopping the cat, they found that the collar contained 2 bags of marijuana. The guards suspected that someone in a nearby village was using the cat as a drug mule and began a search for its trainer. That's mean to use animals like that. It's mean to use humans like that too. It's sick. But on to the next. Sourpuss. Do you want me to drag my claws down the blackboard again? No? Well, then repeat after me. The owl and the pussycat. Don't smile for the camera. Smile and the world smiles with you. But not so for the internet sensation Grumpy Cat. I like Grumpy Cat. Her miserable Mayan, whatever that is, M-I-E-N, has been the making of her, earning her $100 million through books, merchandise, endorsements, and a movie. Within days of uploading a video of Grumpy Cat to YouTube, her owner from Morristown, Arizona, was able to give up her waitressing job and dedicate herself to her cat's career. I like Grumpy Cat. I drive a cat I like. This driving is making me hungry. Can we stop off for a burger and some potatoes? Cat pit stop. A 70-year-old woman was driving her car with her cat in Folsom, California in 2008 when the cat attacked her face. The woman lost control of her Toyota Solara and plowed into the wall of a Barbecue Express diner. She injured 2 diners who were hit by a piece of wall, a drink machine, and a table. It's not reported whether they took home a doggy bag. No way would I ride in a car with a cat on the loose. Put him in his carrier. All right. I can't stand Puccini. Favorite singer? Cat Stevens. Vinyl Attraction. Is This Love? Sang Bob Marley on the record player. Perhaps it was, even at first sight, for 2-year-old Furby when she saw the turntable in use. Intrigued by the rotating disc in the home of her owner in Galway, Ireland, she pressed her paw onto the record, speeding it up, slowing it down, doing a little scratching, in fact. But like all true fans, she just couldn't get enough and jumped on the turntable, only to find herself trapped, spinning around until her owner rescued her. In the pet itinerary, I've got a 9-live sentence. Mr. Smuggles. Cats wandering in and out of prison gates might seem innocent enough. At Romero Nobrega prison in Brazil in 2015, however, guards discovered that cats were being used to smuggle in goods strapped to their bellies. They found one cat that appeared to be wearing a coat carrying 4 cell phones, chargers, and SIM cards. Okay. Cat Tankerous. Look, it's a selfie, okay? They always make faces a bit scary. Cat chases bear up tree. You might imagine that if a black bear confronted a cat, the feline would be the frightened one. But this wasn't the case when a black bear wandered into a yard in New Jersey in 2006 and came face to face with Jack, a tabby. Although clawless, Jack was territorial about the yard and chased the bear up a tree. He kept the bear clinging to the branches for 15 minutes before his owner took him inside, allowing the bear to climb down and slink off back into the woods. Cats can be scary. Wetter than a catfish. You think I look bad, you should see the other cat. Catty behavior. In a popular YouTube clip, one cat watches from the side of a swimming pool while another struggles in the water. When the swimming cat reaches the top of the ladder, the mean cat pushes it back into the water. But when the wet cat climbs the ladder for the second time, it has learned its lesson. It stops just below the top. The other cat still lashes out, but with nothing to hit, loses its balance and falls into the water. Oh, man. Domesticated disturbance. Do you think I'm looking out for a burglar? An intruder? No, your home has already been invaded by me. I'm eating your food, sleeping on your bed, making you work for me. Pet holds family hostage. In 2014, a couple with a baby in Portland, Oregon, were forced to call the police after their cat cornered them in one of their bedrooms. The incident began when the cat scratched the baby and the baby's father kicked it. After that, the cat attacked the family, biting them and lashing out if they tried to pass it. Eventually, the police caught the pet with a snare and freed the family. Cats can be jealous. Paulus, another one. From the glasses and hat, you might have expected that I was a German Rex. But I'm a Burman. Get it? Beer man. Squatters' rights. When a cat began appearing every day at the Blunsdon Arms pub in Sweden, Wiltshire, UK, in 2008, customers would give it scraps of their lunch. But that's where the problems began. Because the pub served food, health and safety laws meant the cat wasn't allowed inside. So a notice was put up announcing that the cat was barred from the pub. Unsurprisingly, the cat ignored this. Not only that, it was very territorial and would stare down other cats if they tried to enter. Cat with added bite, spelled B-Y-T-E. I admit it does look a little unusual for a mouse, but I'm going to eat it anyway. Inspecting the gadgets. A study has calculated that between 2010 and 2015, pet cats and dogs caused $2.3 billion worth of damage to laptops, tablets, and cell phones in Europe. Britain suffered the worst, with most incidents the result of a cat or dog mistaking the device for a chew toy, knocking the gadget off surfaces, stepping on them, or spilling things on them. Cat and mouse. Me? I wouldn't hurt a fly. A mouse, though, is another matter altogether. Mouse catcher in a jam. A cat chasing a mouse got its head caught in a jar when the mouse was hiding. The tabby called Mindy was seen wandering down a road in Peterborough, UK in January of 2007, with the jar stuck to its head and the mouse inside, an inch from the cat's mouth. A motorist took the cat to a police station, but they were unable to pry the jar off the cat's head. Finally, Mindy smashed the jar on the floor, releasing herself and leaving the mouse to escape unharmed. Survival kit. Hey, I'm looking at you. Well, get some blinds. Then, if that bothers you, window pane. It was nearly curtains for two cats in China in 2015 when they became trapped between the panes of a double glazed window. While initially the cats seemed comfortably snug, they risked suffocation in the enclosed space. A passerby noticed the cat's dilemma, but the only way to rescue them was to dig a hole in the wall beneath the window and drag the cats out. They weren't very happy. Cat that got the green. What are you talking about? Of course, green is a cool color. The Hulk, Yoda, Shrek, all cool cats. All cats are gray in the dark. When residents in Bulgaria spotted a luminous green cat in 2014, they were perplexed about the cause of its unusual coloring. Was it toxic, the results of genetic engineering, or simply the most envious cat ever seen? Investigations, however, revealed that the cat simply liked sleeping in a pile of green paint. And if his friends were envious, they didn't show it in the color of their coats. Okay. Cats watch the mousetrap. These cats purport to be wild, even the one wearing a collar. Cat Island. Oshima Island in Japan is only 1 mile long, but it is home to 120 feral cats, now outnumbering the island's handful of humans 6-1. The cats were introduced to Oshima to deal with mice that plagued fishermen's boats. They stayed on and multiplied. Oshima is now known as Cat Island and receives visitors who come just to see the feral felines. Cats will fly. I'm much more comfortable in the air than the water, but then I would say that I'm a Libran. It's an air sign. Cats fall prey to gravity. If cats have 9 lives, Martin, a cat in St. Petersburg, Florida, might have used them all at once in 2009 when he fell from a 9th floor condominium to the street below. He didn't even land on his feet, falling instead on his face. He broke some teeth and suffered internal bleeding. Poor kitty. The owner told the vet, "I've told him cats don't fly," said Martin's owner. So we have to convince him now that he's totally an indoor cat. Martin is no longer allowed on the balcony. Okay. Poor kitty. Cat denies fat suit. Fat? No. Perhaps a whisker overweight, but it has its benefits. Skinny cats can't sit like this. Flabby tabbies. Cats are now so fat that diabetes clinics are opening for them. British cats are on the average 25% heavier than they were 10 years ago. The cause of their weight increase and diabetes are, surprise, surprise, lack of exercise from living inside and poor diet. Not only can their increased weight lead to liver problems and arthritis, they can also cause skin problems because the cats can't stretch enough to groom themselves properly. Everybody likes a fat cat, but I do too, but you gotta keep your cat healthy when he's on the inside. You gotta keep his weight down, make sure he's fed the right foods, play with him so he can get some exercise. Okay. I spy with my cat's eye. I'm just using these binoculars to try to look normal. The truth is my eyes really are this big. A tale of antenna. During the Cold War, the CIA spent what's believed to have been millions of dollars, of course, on a project trying to use cats as listening devices. However, for all their technical wizardry in implanting batteries in cats and using their tails as antenna, the CIA failed to grasp one basic thing about cats. The only training they'll accept is housebreaking. Instead of eavesdropping on the conversations of Soviet agents, the cats would wander off and find something more interesting to do, which amazes me that governments, especially the United States government, since I'm in the U.S., spend taxpayer dollars on this idiotic stuff. It makes me ill. But anyway, meow, ow, ow. Not only did they declaw me, they took my mojo too. If you know what I mean. I feel so, actually after that operation, I don't feel very much anymore. Which reminds me, I'm going to get my cat fixed this next coming month. January, he's getting fixed. Cat from the dead. What's worse than your cat dying? Perhaps burying it, grieving it, and then having it reappear on your doorstep? Pet cemetery. That's what happened to a man in Tampa, Florida in 2015 when a car knocked down his pet cat. The vet declared Bart dead. The cat was buried, but 5 days later, the injured feline reappeared at his owner's home. It's believed that Bart regained consciousness underground, dug his way out, and then laid low for a few days before making his way home. Poor kitty. Pet cemetery, creepy kitty. Is your engine purring? If you call me dipstick again, I'll blow a gasket. Catalytically converted. On sunny days, cats enjoy lounging on the hood of a car. On chilly mornings, however, the warmest place for a cat is curled around the engine. On a 60-mile trip from Belfast to Derry in Northern Ireland in the winter of 2012, this man noticed a strange noise coming from the engine. Only on reaching Derry did he look under the hood and find that a stowaway tabby had climbed in around the engine. The cat was a little shaken but unharmed. Cats bark up wrong tree. Look, while you're climbing up to rescue me, I'll pussyfoot around for a while and then jump down on my own, okay? A cautionary tale. The owner of this cat was in Hertfordshire, UK. The cat climbed a tree in her yard the owner climbed a tree in her yard in 2014 in an effort to rescue her cat and got stuck herself. Not only was the cat still out of reach, but the owner found that she had climbed too high to climb back down. Much to her embarrassment, her family had to call the fire department. Okay, this is funny. Who used the ladders to free the owner and her cat. The fire department's advice was, when a cat appears stuck up a tree, 9 times out of 10, it'll find its way down. They will. Okay, excuse me. That one was kind of funny. Okay. Precious puss. Diamonds and cats are the perfect combination because they're absolutely opposites. Diamonds don't scratch. CAT scan reveals taste for diamonds. Never leave your valuables unguarded, even at home. Okay, this is the owners in Manchester, UK, learned that when a diamond went missing, when a diamond and opal pendant disappeared from their coffee table, unable to find the item, they suspected that their cat Oliver was the culprit. After all, the pendant had been lying next to Oliver's treats. An x-ray revealed the pendant, complete with 24-inch chain, lying in Oliver's stomach. It was safely removed during surgery and is now kept out of Paul's reach. Pause for thought. Talk about ungrateful. If I hadn't set the house on fire, they'd never have redecorated that kitchen. Okay. A cat on a hot tin loaf. A cover design to protect toasters instead contributed to a fire in Port Townsend, Washington in 2010. The owner's cat, Orias O'Malley, had been sleeping on top of the protective cover of the toaster. During the night, however, Orias pressed the toaster lever, activating it and setting the cover on fire. Flames reached the cabinets. The homeowner awoke to find her kitchen on fire. Orias and the owner escaped unharmed, but the damage was estimated to cost $5,000 to repair. Wow. Caterwauling. Well, if you won't install a cat flap, I'll just have to make one myself, won't I? Marv's marvelous recovery. Curiosity may well have got the better of a cat called Marv in Bristol, UK in 2015, when he managed to wedge himself upside down in a 5-inch gap between two garage walls. His neighbor first noticed meowing, apparently coming from the wall. Unable to coax him out, his owner called the fire department, who had to chisel away a cinder block in the wall so that the cat could be dragged out backwards. Okay. Puss is put on parole. They've threatened to put me in the doghouse again. Rescue me from my rescue cat. In 2008, some owners rescued a cat called Eric from Battersea Dogs and Cats Home in London. 2 years later, this person asked his vet whether he would put Eric down. Not to end Eric's misery, but the owners. Eric, who had a metal back leg after being hit by a car, shied away from any affection. Poor kitty. However, he screeched all night, ripped off wallpaper, tore up furniture, and terrorized the neighbors and their cats until they moved away. After expensive surgery on Eric's leg, a despairing owner wondered if it was time to put the cat to sleep. He didn't, instead giving Eric one last chance. Poor kitty. Cat power. If I was supposed to speak human, it would have happened by now. Feline intuition. If you've ever wondered whether your cat doesn't recognize you or is simply ignoring your command, research has found the answer. We obviously didn't have to have research to find that out because we know cats ignore you. So no need to spend taxpayer dollars on that. But anyway, you've been given the cold shoulder. Research has found you've been given the cold shoulder. In 2013, scientists at the University of Tokyo studied 20 cats, monitoring their movements, vocalization, and eye dilation in response to recordings of strangers or owners calling their names. The responses showed that they could identify their owners, but that wasn't going to make them budge. I call my cat's name all the time. He's Buddy Boo, and he does not respond. He ignores you, okay? But anyway, raising canine. I'm not screeching or shrieking, yowling or wailing, howling or bawling. I'm caterwauling. Feline phenomenon. Bluey loves to purr. She does it so much of the time and at such a volume that it put potential owners off picking her at a pet rehoming center in Cambridge, UK in 2015. Tests show that Bluey's purrs can reach 93 decibels, louder than a passing train. Wow. And 4 times louder than an average cat. It's also possible that the 12-year-old is a little hard of hearing, undeniably loud, and perhaps a little deaf. Though Bluey may be, she did eventually find a new owner. Well, that's good. Poor kitties. Not to be sniffed at. Some pussies go sentimental over strong aromas. Okay. In Plymouth, UK in 2014, this owner put on a splash of Hugo Boss bottled night aftershave before going to visit his neighbors. But unknown to the owner, his neighbor's cat Blue had a phobia about strong scents. No sooner was the owner through the door than Blue leaped at him, landing on his head. He managed to fight Blue off, but the 3-inch gash on the back of his head required stitches. Animal psychologist Dr. Roger Mugford said that Blue may have perceived the smell of the aftershave as a threat. And that was Hugo Boss bottled night aftershave for you men who don't want to get attacked by kitties. Okay. One puss, 2 bags of cats. Now, if I followed this correctly, these two are arguing about who gets to look after me. Truth is, it's all the same to me as long as they feed me. I don't really care who they are. A paucity of cats. Okay. The owners named him Ming because he liked to mingle so much. Perhaps too much, because Ming's periods of absence, during which he always lost his collar, kept increasing, until one day in 2010 he didn't return at all. For 4 years, the family in Wellington, New Zealand didn't see Ming, and then he reappeared. It transpired that another family had assumed he was a stray because he spent so much time with them. They had moved away, taking him with them. Now, however, they were back in the old neighborhood. His return, though, created a problem. Whose cat was he now? Oh, me. These cats, they can be funny cats. Thieving Tom. Me bad? Butter wouldn't melt on my paws. Brazen bra snatcher. Okay. Dusty, a cat in San Mateo, California, has stolen so many times from neighbors that his owners stage a reverse garage sale, inviting people to reclaim their stolen goods. It has been suggested that he's suffering from a form of obsessive-compulsive disorder. He is so thorough that when he stole a tennis shoe, he returned to pick up his partner. And he made 2 trips to collect both pieces of a bikini. Oh, me, these kitties. Okay, Subway Surfers. When we hear about the Brooklyn flea market, we knew that was the place for us. And what better way to get there than via the subway? After all, isn't it a little like modern day catacombs? Manhattan Transfer. Some people might be good looking enough to stop traffic, but 2 kittens in New York managed to stop 2 lines on the subway in 2013. The 8-week-old kittens were spotted on tracks in Brooklyn, causing an outage on the B and Q lines, while NYPD officers searched for them. Commuters' journeys were disrupted for several hours before the cats were caught. They were subsequently taken to an animal shelter. Well, I hope somebody adopted those poor little kitties. And this is the end. Hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you to my mama for buying me this. This was fascinating. This is a good book. It's fascinating. All right. See you back soon. Bye.